If I had a nickel for every time a parody slash send-up of a genre not only became an excellent mockery of all the tropes within that genre, but also one of the best examples of that genre done well, I'd have 2 nickels. And that admittedly isn't a lot, but it's epic that it's happened twice. Shout out to Little Chad over at the Biggles Breakdown for that quote.
And this is to go even further beyond!
Standing alongside the likes of Konosuba in that regard, the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You returned for a second season over the winter, giving us a whole new selection of over-the-top girlfriend tropes as well as some of the most, very literally, harebrained sorts of plot lines you could expect.
What the fuck?
I think calling it the Konosuba of romance anime is appropriate, because this one really does occupy a very similar spot within the romance genre to what Konosuba does in the isekai genre. Now, for those of you who are terribly uninitiated, the 100 Girlfriends is a story about Ijo Rentaro, a freshman in high school who finds out that God's big mistake has left him in the position of having 100 soulmates, and that if he doesn't date every single one of them, they'll die. And nobody but Rentaro and his bottomless reserves of love and ability to stretch reality itself could possibly pull off such a feat. So we've already been introduced to about 6 of the girls. So who are the new ones? Well, first you're going to be introduced to Kurumi, the very hangry middle schooler who struggles with being nice if you don't keep her well fed. And her role in winning the eating contest early on in Season 2 establishes her place within the Rentaro family. And then, of course, we get Mei, the Hanazono family's loyal to a fault maid who will stop at nothing to serve you. Then we have Iku, the masochistic tomboy who happens to be one of the more crazy members of the cast. The one who likes it when the strongest member of the cast hits her in the ass with a bat. Up next is Mimimi Utsukushisuji, the beauty queen of the group with a bone to pick with another one of our members. We'll get to that later. And last but certainly not least, Meme Kakure, the shy and very self-conscious final member of the season whose disappearing act would give the substitution jutsu from Naruto a run for its money. For as much as this show really does ham it up and lean heavily into the absurd comedy act, it still delivers on its characters fairly well, especially considering there's now, 11 of them? We get some backstory on characters like Nano when we learn that Utsukushisuji holds a grudge against her over the Kudere robot girl rejecting her offer of friendship previously. And not only do we get one of the only real beef sessions between the girls of the Rentaro family, but also a point of reflection for Nano where we get to see how her outlook on life has changed since meeting her now boyfriend Rentaro. And of course, the season finale, that was the Tsundere Spirit Bomb, was a moment to focus very directly on Karane and how self-conscious she is over the fact that she can't express herself properly. For as much of a joke as these chapters of the story are made out to be, they still deliver a good bit of character work that helps bring long-lasting members of the cast back into prominence since there are constantly newer and flashier members to contend with. Rather than cycling them out and just not using them as much to focus on newer characters and relying on the allure of the flashy new characters, they actually do repurpose the existing ones and make them relevant to the story. And that's good. Let us not forget, though, that this show is willing to do things that many others might not be. From breaking the fourth wall to throw shade at its very own director, to not one but 2 very blatant Dragon Ball references, whilst Chala Head Chala plays in the background.
元気玉における悟空をやるまんまじゃねえか
To one of the most insane lines ever put in an anime, and of course the absolute schizo writing at times, There's an almost never-ending supply of comedy gold out of this whole thing. The baseball episode, Shizuka Karaoke, Tsunderes, the global hair crisis, a parody of Your Name, and so many more random things you can toss in on top of all that. This series is one of the funniest that I've ever watched. There literally wasn't an episode where I wasn't laughing hard at something that they did. So for a harem rom-com meant to take a jab at the usual romance tropes, it's impressively good. So do yourself a favor and go check it out, because you might really, 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 really end up loving it. Was that too many reallys?